Hi there, it's Justin Lubino with Senior Advisors, and we're creating a short series of videos to help explain how these Part D reports work from the Medicare Plan Finder. So you may have received an email from us with a recommendation for a Part D plan, which this report would be attached, or a type of report would be attached to your email. So I just want to quickly walk through how to read this report so you understand the information that's in here. All right, the first section here at the top of these reports just lists the carrier and the plan. For this example, it's a Cigna plan. The name of it is Essential RX. It says, what will you pay? The premium is the amount you pay monthly for the coverage. In this case, it's $34.90 per month. The next section shows you your estimated costs for the year for your medications. If you go to the pharmacies that were entered, which we're going to show you which ones were entered in this example, you'll pay about $673 in this example. Mail order would be about $526. So a little bit of savings there if you use the mail order program in this example. It also shows underneath there that it covers all 5 of the drugs that were entered for this individual. So that's good information. It kind of repeats the same information again. It does show the deductible for the plan, which is $480. Generally, these deductibles are for higher tier drugs, and they don't apply to like a tier 1 or even a tier 2 generic on a lot of these plans. But if you have a higher tier drug, you have to meet the deductible before you get to a copay. All right. Gives you the address for the plan there as well. On the second page, drug coverage information. So it starts out with the pharmacies, and some of the pharmacies may be a standard pharmacy, some may be preferred, some may be even out of network. Standard means you can still use it with the plan, but you're going to pay a little bit more for your drugs. Preferred means it's the preferred, or one of the preferred pharmacies where you get a lower copay for your drugs. And each plan is just going to vary as far as these pharmacies go and which is going to be preferred. And then mail order in a lot of cases is preferred as well, which means lower cost there. Next section shows yearly drug costs by pharmacy. So now it breaks down for each of the 5 drugs that were entered in this example, how much you're going to pay for the year at each of these pharmacies. So you can see if you go to a standard pharmacy, you're going to pay for this particular drug about $100 for the year versus a zero copay at a preferred pharmacy or mail order. Same thing for the next drug. You're going to pay more at a standard pharmacy, even a preferred, than you will with mail order. So you can look at this granularity for each of the medications in the list to see which is the best way to get them. Not to suggest you're going to go to one pharmacy for one and mail order for another pharmacy for another drug, but it just gives you a general idea of where the most cost-effective options would be for your medications. The next section, this is really how we pick the plans. We have other videos out there that explain how we find the most cost-effective plan, and we're really looking at this total drug and premium cost for the year, which is how the plans are sorted on the Medicare Plan Finder. So if you're interested in how we do that, go check out our other video that explains how we pick the most cost-effective plan. But this is the number we use. So we're not just looking for the lowest drug cost or the lowest premium, we're looking for the lowest total for the year, which is this number right here. And you can see if you go to CVS with this plan, it'd be about $1,400 for the year. Walgreens about $1,100, and mail order a little less than $1,000 for the year. Again, that includes the premium plus the drug cost. It also shows us if you're going to meet the deductible, when you would meet the deductible. In this example, again, it's a $480 deductible. Some of these drugs apply to the deductible, some do not, but it looks like roughly July or August is when you'd reach the deductible. And then if you're going to reach the coverage gap or catastrophic coverage, which is for very expensive medications, that information will be listed here as well. This example does not reach those phases, so there's no information. You won't enter it. It basically says we have other videos that explain if you're going to reach the coverage gap, what the costs are going to look like and so forth. We also have a video that explains these different phases of Part D of Medicare, so you can understand each of these phases more clearly. But for this example, this person is not going to reach the coverage gap, so we don't have to worry about that. And then it breaks down the cost by month, which again is very helpful, just kind of looking at the drug costs. And you can see there's kind of this sporadic 80, let's go to the Walgreens, the preferred, $86, then it goes down a little bit, and then 86, 68. It's because one of their drugs they get every 90 days, and the other ones are getting monthly. So that's why you see that little increase every 3 months. That's just how they entered in the medication when, how they fill their drugs. And then you can see the drug cost drops a little bit in August because they've reached their deductible. We read that above, so they're going to have lower costs towards the end of the year. The mail order cost here is every 3 months, so it's all of the drugs every 3 months, and you see zeros, the following 2 months because you're getting all 3 drugs at a time. The next section of the report shows for each of the pharmacies now, it breaks down each of those medications. So it's going to provide the same kind of granularity now for each pharmacy. So it's a lot of good detail there. You can see if you go to CVS, what you're going to pay for each of these drugs. The retail cost is the full retail cost of the drug. The cost before deductible is what you're going to pay before you reach the deductible. Cost after deductible is what you pay for the drug after you reach the deductible. Coverage gap and after coverage gap are if you're in the donut hole, and then catastrophic coverage, which again, this person's not going to reach, so we're not going to worry about that for this video. But most of the months of the year, they're going to be in the cost before deductible for this example. And then after they get to the deductible, you see the cost drops a little bit for some of these drugs, not all of them, but some of them will drop after the deductible. And then it repeats the same information now for Walgreens, right? That was the preferred pharmacy. It's going to show you all the drug costs at Walgreens, and then also for mail order, how much you're going to pay for each of these drugs. You can see 3 of these drugs are tier 1, so they would have a 0 copay if you get a 90-day supply via mail order. The other drugs here are going to be, you're going to pay for them for the 90-day supply through mail order. Next section here is costs by drug tier. So this is just going to go through each of the tiers. All of these Part D plans pretty much have a 5-tier formulary. So there's going to be generics, tier 1, or preferred generic, preferred brand, non-preferred, and specialty are kind of the 5 tiers. And it just breaks down the percentages and the costs you pay, for these different tiers. I would say don't get too caught up in this section. This is already all factored into those prices, and the plan that you're picking is already factored in based upon the cost of your drugs for each plan. So, but that's just some additional information. Then it tells you the tiers of the drugs that you're taking for the plan. So you can see for each of those drugs what tier they are. If there's any sort of quantity limits on any of these drugs, that would be listed here, or step therapy or prior authorization, that would be listed there. My drug list is towards the bottom. So this is the information that was entered for this particular individual. So you can see all the drugs, make sure those are the correct ones. Not to be frightened by this section at the bottom about Part B drugs. These are drugs usually get in a doctor's office or a hospital outpatient setting like flu shot, chemo, and other shots. These are not covered by the Part D drug plan because they're covered by Part B as in boy. So chemotherapy and other Part B drugs will be covered by Part B. And then if you have a Medicare supplement, for example, it would cover the other 20% in most cases for those types of expensive drugs, infusion therapies, and that sort of thing. So, and then there's a star rating section. This is the plans just came out. It's October 1st today. So this information is not available yet. But if you see this in your report, it'll show you anywhere from 1 to 5 stars for the plan star rating. All right, so that's just a quick overview just to kind of explain how these reports work. I hope that answers any questions you might have, and all the information is very helpful in these reports. So hope you have a great day, and check out some of our other videos. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook to get all of our latest updates. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.